Hey everyone, Death Metal Antichrist here, back with a brand new video. Now, today is a review I've been waiting to do for a while, and that is the new album by Obituary, Dying of Everything. Now, the album, obviously they came out with the singles at the wrong time, and I think they had another one I can't really remember, but that's obviously why I have the shirt and the flag's right here. But, Barely Alive opens up the album very, very well, and it has a lot of great songs like Torn Apart, fucking The Wrong Time, Dying of Everything. The title track is fucking cool too. So there's really a lot of cool tracks on this album, so it's hard to narrow it down to just one, but my favourite's definitely Dying of Everything, the title track, because of just how fucking crushing it is. And obviously, like, a lot of the songs have the standard Obituary guitars and like the vocals, which I can do a great John Tardy impression when no one's looking. So I've always loved Obituary. They're one of my favorite death metal bands, and I was thinking, when are we gonna get a new Obituary album? Because fucking the self-titled was like a good few years ago, like 2017. Like that's like 5-6 years ago now. So we were we were due for some new Obituary, and we got it. We got new Obituary. And in my opinion, this is one of the greatest albums of the year so far. I reckon. I know we have New Cattle Decap coming out, which I actually don't mind that album cover. What a fucking sin, actually liking the album cover to the New Cattle Decap album. I mean, just what a sin. But actually, I don't really like it. I just think it's not as bad as people are saying, and people are making it out to be this just monstrosity of a album cover, which it isn't really. Like, it's not a good album cover, but it is what it is. But yeah, I really like the album. I reckon it's really, really good. One of the best newer death metal releases I've heard so far. Probably only. And I know Dying Fetus's last album was 2017, 2018, so hopefully they're going to get new stuff out next. They're one of my favorite brutal death metal bands. Then like Suffocation and Aborted and like fuck Cryptopsy, shit like that. Slaps, man. But I just hope they come out with something soon as well. But the new Obituary album was on par with the last album, in my opinion, which I actually have, I think. Yeah, I actually own their last album. Yeah, I do. I do, in fact. They're a band who, in my opinion, has never made a bad album. In my opinion, there's never been a bad Obituary album. Oh. Like, yeah, like I said, never been a bad, in my opinion at least, never been a bad Obituary album. Like, even, like, just every album by them is just great, in my opinion. Like, there's some, like, a lot of death metal bands have bad albums, but a lot of them have good albums. And I think it's the same with a lot of thrash, even though a lot of thrash bands kind of went down in the 90s, and black metal bands have always stayed the same. Like, I know Darkthrone's newer stuff is more doomy than some of their other stuff. Like, it's kind of like doomy black metal, but a lot of black metal bands have stayed the same. And some death metal bands change, some stay the same, some do go for the thrash route of changing their style after when they're not doing too good with sales, or if they just feel fucking bored and just want a stylistic change, and then go back to their old sound. But yeah, Obituary I think has never had a bad album, and this is a pretty good album in my opinion. Like, top half of their catalogue. Like, just really, really well produced. The guitars are well done. The vocals are well done. John Tardy always does excellent vocals. He's probably my favourite death metal vocalist, and I will die on that hill. I will absolutely die on that hill. Just a fantastic album, front to back. Not really any bad songs, to be honest with you. Not really any bad songs. I reckon this is just a really good album, and I reckon it'll fucking yeah. I reckon it's a pretty good album. And just don't take my word for it. Check it out yourself as well, because just don't take my word for everything. I reckon it's a fucking amazing album, but not everyone will think that, and that's fine. I think this is the first video of the year, so congratulations to me. But yeah, just make sure you check this album out for yourself. Go into it with a fresh mind. Don't just get some asshole on the internet, some blonde asshole on the internet, his opinion on it. Get your own opinion on it. Like, think, am I gonna like this fucking new Obituary album? Let's check out the new Obituary album. Like, don't just take advice from everyone on the internet. check out these albums by yourself. Like, just listen to these albums. See what you think of them. Did you think it was boring? Do you think it kind of lagged? Do you think it was kind of too long? Do you think it was kind of too short? I reckon this album was a little too short. It could add a couple more songs. That's the only bad thing. And quite frankly, that's actually also a good thing because that just shows how good the album was. Like, that I was left wanting more. Like, wanting more Obituary. And, like, yeah, I just wanted more Obituary from this album because this album was just a fucking brilliant album. I really enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed it so much. It's the guitar of I think his name. I always forget the fucking guitarist of Obituary's name, but they complement John Tardy's vocals and they complement the fucking drums of Donald Tardy. Like like I always forget his name. I think it's Trevor, the guitarist. No, it probably isn't. I'm probably just a dumbass. But the point is, it's a really good it's a really good album, and I mean maybe it does get a little bit boring. Like it does get a little bit, but at the same time, it gets you with like tracks that in between that are like just really good, so it keeps you going. And most of the tracks are really good, so you don't have to worry about being bored out of your fucking mind for the majority of the album because that's not how it goes. A lot of the album is just really fucking good, and I couldn't recommend this album enough. I reckon it's going to be one of the best albums of the year, if not the best. But we've only just started this year, so there's no way of knowing. So I just hope it is. But until then, I've been Desmond Landcross. You've been awesome. Stay brutal.